Tomas will join us when he comes off the set. Coach, just opening statement, then we'll open up for questions.
Yeah, I thought, I was just talking with the guys at the ACC Network. Thought Jake Knapp and Dalton Pence were the story of the game. Jake was outstanding. He made some really big pitches when they got first and second. I don't remember what inning that was with no outs to get us back in the dugout. He's gotten better all year. You know, I felt like he was going to match up good with Virginia. He matched up good with them at home, but I also knew he was a much better and more complete pitcher now than he was then. I thought we made great plays behind him, besides the one hiccup with Vandy, and Johnny being able to make those plays at third base allows us to move Mac in center. So when you pitch and you defend, you have a chance to beat anybody. And I mean, that's just the bottom line, and that's something that we work hard at, and I'm proud of these guys. But story of the game is this big guy beside me and Dalton Pence.
Okay, questions? Just raise your hand. We'll pass the mic around. No, you go ahead.
Michael, this is Michael Fryer with Bird Sports Network. This one, first question's for Jake. Jake, what was working for you today?
I actually had all three pitches today for the most part. The changeup I haven't used much all year, so that I think is something that wouldn't show up normally on a scouting report when looking at my own game. So that was big, just to kind of get them thinking a little more and able to land the slider for a strike. Everything, when I do that with my off-speed pitch, my fastball can play up a little bit, and that's my best pitch. So landing the off-speed for a strike really opened things up for me.
And then for you, Coach, talk about the offense today. What was the biggest key for them today?
You know, timely hitting, obviously, some big hits, and you know, I want to point out Alberto. You know, we've had 2 broken hammies this season, him and Alvarez. It's taken him a little while to get his bat speed back. That's the thing that takes the longest. And for him to step up and hit 2 big doubles for us, and then obviously Frick with the big at bat. But I didn't feel like we ever just went quickly and had bad at bats. I felt like if a guy didn't have a great at bat, the next guy had a good at bat, and that's important against a team like Virginia, because you know they're going to attack you and score at some point with that offense.
Coach Forbes, I was up in the box, and somebody said, "Why is it that North Carolina always seems to turn it up this time of year?"
You know, I would disagree with that. You know, the postseason is the postseason, but you know, our guys are trying to turn it up all the time. Now, obviously, they have a little bit of a mental break when class is in anywhere, and they can recover a little bit more. But I don't think a coach would tell you, you know, you want to play your best right now, obviously, and that's the goal. But I wasn't surprised to see our guys bounce back from the Clemson and the Coastal deal. You know, it wasn't a great stretch, but we felt like our body of work was pretty good going in to the ACC tournament, and I know our team feels like they can beat anybody if we just play well, especially on the mound and defense. But we sure, you know, if that can be a trait, that'd be a good one, because this is the time that it's the most important.
Jake, I know the stuff there has always been there for you, velocity and all that, but correct me if I'm wrong, it seems like the strike throwing has maybe been the key for you, and I'm curious how you've kind of gotten yourself to a point. What's the key to being able to pound the zone like you did today and like you have more recently?
Yes, sir. Being in the zone is definitely, when my stuff is in the zone, my stuff has been good this year. That's been the biggest kind of thing I've been fighting. And me and Coach Gaines have figured things out a little bit kind of as the year has gone on. Just kind of mental cues within game. I was joking with some of the guys, the visit he took today was perfectly timed. He picked up on something, and I was able to correct it because he came out at the perfect time. So just sticking with what Coach Gaines has been preaching to me all year has helped me down the stretch, fill it up more, and more confidence has come with that.
Jake, you were on the mound way back, I think it was 10 weeks ago in March when you guys played UVA and you shut them out. I mean, is that so long ago that you're not able to take anything from that and use it today, or were you able to apply some of maybe the stuff that you learned or remembered from that game in Chapel Hill today? Was there anything helpful from that game?
Yes, sir. I met with Coach Gaines yesterday, actually, and we went through that film of the first ACC weekend, and kind of the first thing that he said to me was that was my first ever ACC start. So I walked the first guy. I was a little amped up, but there was definitely things that we took from that and put into the game plan for today. So we definitely used that going into today.
Seemed like a long time ago.
It did.
question for Tomas. Looks like you were hitting everything that was being thrown at you today. And multiple pitchers and multiple at bats. Can you just talk about what you were doing today, what you were seeing, were you approaching the pitchers differently, or same approach all the way around?
Yeah, I feel like altogether we've had a good approach past couple weeks. I feel like, and we just work hard before games and really tone in what our approach is and sticking with it. And today everyone's just trying to be as calm as possible in the box and put up good bats. So.
Yeah, Tomas, can you talk about the two pitchers today and your strategy and how it works so well? Because these guys put up a lot of runs in their last game.
Yeah, definitely. Knapp, first off, he's just been getting better and better every week. All three pitches he has now, he's finally got the feel for a changeup. He's attacking hitters, not really getting behind as much. And then Pence, as I was saying earlier, I saw it as soon as he came up to the mound. I saw it in his eyes. I knew he was going to attack the guys and put up a good appearance. So.
And that one ball, it looked like you were less than a foot away from a grand slam. Did you think it was out?
Yeah, that might be the hardest ball I've ever hit. So
Really?
I don't know how I got it out. So.
Yeah, Tomas, to follow up on that, when was the last time you had a grand slam?
I had one last year. Penn State this year. Yeah.
Jody's got it back there.
That was everything.
Yeah. But did you have a chance to watch that ball hit? Because it hit. It was a matter of inches. It looked
No,
like.
I hit it and I kind of peeked at it and I saw the big wall and I was like, "There's a good shot. I was gonna hit it." So I had to turn on the burners and get the two. So burners?
That's what he said.
First to home yesterday.
Scott, what explanation did you get on what appeared to be an inning double play?
The explanation was obviously the ball. It wasn't an intentional drop. If you watched it, so an intentional drop, the ball just dies and everybody moves up. So we stepped on the bag, and Colby thought he had tagged Teal when he got off the bag, and he had gotten off the bag, but the umpire said he had called time. So the fact that he had called time, they got it right, and we just thought, well, let's take a look at it. But he didn't tell me when I went out there before I challenged it that he had called time, or I might not have challenged it. But it's a credit to Jake to come back after that, because what you're thinking is, dang, like, is that going to cost us? This guy going to hit one off the wall? And I believe he got the next guy out, if I'm correct. So that was big.
Tomas, you guys have won 7 straight ACC tournament games dating back to your freshman season. What is it do you think allows you guys to feel just so comfortable in these sort of environments?
I just think it's postseason and everyone just raises their level of play, to be honest. And we're happy to be home as well. I think that's a huge factor this year. Everyone's sleeping in their own bed, especially after that bus ride we had all week last week. So, yeah.
Scott, do you roll Bovair out there on Saturday? How does the pitching line up for you guys?
Probably. I'll sit down. We'll wait and see who we play. We play the winner of who? Clemson and BC, is that right?
Yeah.
So we'll watch those two teams. Take a long, hard look at it, but obviously he started a ton for us, and he's a really good candidate. He was available today. But if I had to say today, I would say Connor Bovair will get the start. But, you got a guy like AC2 that is capable of starting, just depending on the matchup, if they're really good in the start at Charlotte. So we'll look at it and make a decision as early as we can tomorrow.
Coach Forbes, you said the pitching, obviously, story of the game, 2 walks. Not much nibbling going on out there and more straight challenging these guys. Was that the game plan going in against Virginia?
Yeah, 100%. And, being a pitching coach here a long time, that's something you have to do against Virginia, because you got to realize they're not going to strike out much. You have to be a pitch in. And if you walk guys, they're going to hurt you because they can steal bases. They're athletic. And, when I'm looking at this box score, the key is, that those first 4 guys, not that Anderson and Salke are bad, but those first 4, they're tough as anybody in the country. And to only give up 1 hit to those first 4, that was a big deal for us to have success.
Scott, whoever you play, Clemson or BC, you lost. Both those teams swept you guys this year. Will that be part of the message as you're preparing for whoever you play? I guess that's an easy motivational tactic.
Yeah, these guys know. And, you know, we didn't feel like we played great against Virginia. And when you're competitors, you know, you're not necessarily looking for revenge, so-called, but you don't forget, you know, when you get swept, and you want to play that team again. So we're going to play one of the two, and I know our guys will be ready.
Anything else? Gentlemen, thank you.